Hello, BluffyRabbit here. Today we're going to go for a video on how to succeed at the Pokerstars Power Path Step 2 $1 shootout. This video is going to be in two parts. The first part of this video are going to be my tips for winning, and the second part is going to be some playthrough and hand review. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get into it. For those of you who don't know, the Power Path is a Pokerstars promotion, and it aims to get people to live events by winning silver and gold passes. You can also use them for online tickets, but overall it's basically a way of combining a bunch of different satellites into one scheme. It's really good value. If you don't know what the Pokerstars Power Path is, I'll chuck a link down below. I highly recommend checking it out because it is a really good promotion that Pokerstars have on at the moment. I really hope they keep it and add to it. So we're looking at the entry level of Step 2. This is a $1 shootout, hyper turbo sit and goes. They're 4 max shootouts, meaning that you have to win a table of 4, and then all the winners from all the tables will then be put onto the final table of 4, and you play on for first from there. As part of research for this video, I played a total of 20 of these tournaments. Across those 20, I won 3 $11 tickets. I also did get some of the second to fourth place prizes, but for the sake of this we're only going to count the $11 tickets as profit, as that's what we're going for. I'm definitely not a regular at this format, so I think my win rate here could definitely be improved upon. If you grind these, I'm sure you could get higher than this. For those of you who haven't played hyper turbos before, they can be a little bit intimidating if you're not used to them, just because they're quite aggressive and you'll find yourself going all in quite a lot, but that's perfectly normal. These are a really quick format, so they're good just to sit down and you can play a whole bunch of these in quite quick succession. So what are my tips? My first tip is definitely aggression. When we're playing such a short format, picking up the big blinds is really important. We want to get ourselves in a position where we can knock other people out cleanly and not leave them on a big blind or two, which they can come back from, because it's quite common in this format for someone to go down to like 2 big blinds and then make a recovery and come back and take down the whole thing. In terms of range, we're looking to be mostly linear. Having a polarized range in this doesn't work so well, as we want our bluffs to have as much equity as possible. So for example, hands with a king or an ace, really good for our bluffing range because we're blocking the ace or the king, and even though we've got a weak kicker, we're still going to be ahead of hands like queen jack. Call stronger. You definitely want to be calling stronger than your shoving range. A mistake I see a lot is people having a good shoving range but then also using the same range for calling. The reason we're a bit looser shoving is because we get fold equity. Basically, when people fold those blinds, we're going to pick up the big blinds, which might be 10 or 20% of our stack, which is really strong. On the flip side, if you're calling, you're not looking to pick up the blinds, you're getting it in potentially for your tournament life against this person, so we definitely want to be calling a tighter range than they are. Pocket pairs. Pocket pairs are such a strong hand in these short formats. We want to be playing these pretty aggressively pre-flop, where we're opening the pots, or with a pre-flop raiser. This is because, again, we can pick up the big blinds, and when we do get called, even if we're getting called by hands like ace-king, or king-queen, or ace-queen, for example, we're still going to be flipping. So half the time we're flipping, the other half the time we're looking at picking up the blinds. All's good. Another big tip is to be very aggressive as a big stack. Let's say you get the first knockout of the tournament and you've got double the chips of the other 2 players at your table. When we're in this position, a lot of people might sit back and let the other players knock themselves out, but what we really want to be doing is being super aggressive and denying them any opportunity to pick up the blinds. By doing this, we'll be increasing our lead more and more, which means our calling range can be a bit weaker as we're not sacrificing our tournament life to potentially get a knockout. A good rule of thumb is more chips, more aggression. Just a quick example of this is, let's say we have a smaller pocket pair that we would potentially be folding to an all-in at earlier stages in the tournament. What we could do here is call off, because if we've say got another player covered by 2 or 3 times their stack, then 50% of the time with that smaller pair we're probably going to win, and the other 50% of the time we're going back down to a smaller stack, but we're not out of the tournament and we still have a good chance of coming back. So for the rest of this video we'll go through hands that I recorded during my playthrough. So ace queen off on the button, obviously a great hand here. We're just looking to get this all in and hoping for a call. We do get called by weaker hands, so this is a great spot to be in. Get called by jack 9 off, and we hold. So queen 7 suited, our opponent limps. We put in a min raise here. The reason for this is because we haven't seen what this player is like heads up yet, and a lot of people will limp raise aces. So the min raise there just to check whether or not they're particularly strong. King 5 offsuit, little min raise here. We take it down. 9-4 offsuit, this is a weaker hand, but we can opt to see flops when we're just calling a min raise with 9 high. Obviously we flop top pair here, so we want to try and protect our hand as much as possible by getting in the raise on the flop. There's a lot of cards that are scary for us here. For 10 big blinds, we're quite happy to go back to shoving pre-flop here. We get called by jack 8 suited. Unfortunately they get there on the river. Puts us down to less than 1 big blind. Forced all in on the next hand. King 8's not a bad hand to pick up. Unfortunately in this one we don't make a comeback, so just cut to the next clip here. 3-5 off. It's an easy fold on the button. So here we see the shove. This could be anything from draws or made pairs. He does get the draw in and gets King 10 offsuit. Good hand to have, especially small blind versus big blind. We get a walk. Queen 2 suited. With the limp here, we're just going to look to limp as well and hopefully get to a flop. We don't flop particularly well. We do have a diamond for a backdoor flush draw. We also have a backdoor straight draw, but we're not in particularly good shape here. We don't know if the button here is going to be limping aces, as a lot of people do short-handed. So we're happy just to get out of the way. Queen 4 offsuit, we just opt for a min raise here. Again, trying to either pick up the blinds or get a raise from stronger hands so we can fold this out. We do have some connectivity with this flop with the Queen of Spades. We go for a bluff. We didn't get raised, so we're assuming no one has a particularly good hand. Not looking to see anything too strong there because we have the nut advantage. $10-5 off here. We could call this, but looking to preserve our blinds at this point, especially as we've got one of the players covered. Jack 3 off. Min raise here. Provoke the all in. Ooh, we won't be calling this off. 3-2 offsuit, fold. See the raise from the small blind. We're hoping for a call here. The less players, the better. Ace-9 offsuit, we're happy to get this in. We block aces here, so we're not too worried about the limp call with aces. Queen-Jack offsuit. And we hold. Pocket twos, we're happy to shove. As we said before, as we're picking up a big blind when they fold, pocket pairs, even small pocket pairs when we're the aggressor, are really good. We go for the shove there, take it down. King-7 off, we're happy to shove. Ace-4, we're happy to shove. At this point we just want to deny them any equity. You can see their blinds are going down and down. We can get away with calling a bit weak here because, as we said before about the big stack, we just got too much equity, and even if we lose we're in a good position to come back anyway. So we make it to the final table. So at this point, when you get to the final table, you've made profit regardless, even if it's only 36 cents. We're looking for the first place though. First playable hand, Jack-8 of spades. We're happy to get this in. We're mostly looking for a fold here. We want it to fold down and pick up the blinds, but if we get called, it's not the end of the world. We do have a fair amount of equity with this hand. Looking for a spade, don't get there. Next table, King-Jack suited. We'll just be looking to get this in and hope that it holds. Again, we get called weaker with this hand, so we're hoping for a call. Jack-6 suited. This could be a candidate for a bluff. See what Mist does before us. He folds, so we're putting a little raise here. We mix in a min raise. Jack-6. We hit the pair of jacks, that's good for us. We put in a small bet, hoping to bring along like a pair of fours or an ace high. Fold that out. It's an all in from the small blind against the big blind. Doesn't go. 6-10 suited on the big blind. Going to be folding this down, especially from the early position raise. Will be a little bit stronger. Ace-2, this is a good hand as we have the ace blocker. Though we do see AV Fitness here gets in half his stack, which is a really odd raise size. And when people do things that are a bit odd, your alarm bell should be going, so we do fold that because we think it's a bit strange. 7-3 suited, we opt for a little min raise there. Bluff the flop with some draw equity. We improve to a pair. They bet out against us. It's a bit of a weird bet. They don't have a lot of leads there, so... And considering the last hand we saw them play a bit weird, they might be a weaker player. Pocket 9's a great hand, we'll get that all in. Unfortunately we don't get a call. Jack-7 offsuit is a little bit weak. Five king offsuit, again, a little bit weak. 9-10 offsuit, we shove for a bluff here, goes through. So you can see, like, when we're getting these bluffs in, min raise here as a bluff as well, we're just trying to pick up the blinds because we're getting further and further ahead. And now we're at a point where we can call off a lot weaker, like we just have. Cool down with queen high, just hoping to see that they were bluffing, which they were. And obviously if we lost that hand, we'd still be ahead. So when we're a big stack, we do have a liberty to play quite a bit looser. So suited king 6 there, and it goes through. Poor mist is down to less than 2 big blinds there. So onto the final table. 5-10 off, first hand, not a great start. We'll be folding that. Bit of an interesting raise size again. 3 big blinds. We're kind of expecting people either to be shoving or min raising. Gets it in with ace-10, which goes through, knocks out a player. 6-9 offsuit. We go for a min raise, hopefully just to pick up the blinds. We will be mixing in min raises with aces as well, just so that other players know that we're not always bluffing with our min raise. Queen 5 offsuit against the min raise here. We opt for a call. See the flop, we get middle pair, which is a good outcome. The board does improve to an ace though, which hits some of their limp range. We just get down to the showdown cheaply there, but we aren't always winning there, so we're happy to take that. Pocket 7s, again pocket pairs, very strong when we're the ones opening, so we're going to be shoving that. 8-6 suited, we'll probably come in for a min raise. Yeah, so min raise there and we take it down. King 7 offsuit. Depending on our opponents, we'll probably call the shove from the short stack, but not the big stack. When we get the limp and then the shove from the small stack, we're worried about the big stack calling behind, especially because the limp can be strong hands, so we have to fold there if it's not the nicest of positions to be in. Queen 10 offsuit, we're going to shove this. Hopefully we get the fold, but we do get a call from 8-9 suited. 8-9 suited does have plenty of equity. We hold. Little min raise to try and stop them picking up the blinds. Here we play aggressively, we do have a hand, so they basically have to fold anything where they've not hit. They might even get in some of the straight draws there. King 7 versus King 6, just about as good as it can get, and we take down our first one. So next final table we're looking at. So we pick up pocket jacks here. Obviously a very strong hand, especially when we're this short-handed. We see a limp under the gun. This does ring some alarm bells, so we opt for a raise here so that we can get away from it if the under the gun player shoves and then the small blind gets in, because then we're likely going to be behind. But considering they both just call, I think we're happy to get it in here, expect them not to have ace-king or many aces and kings in their hand. And we do take it down, which is a good result. Queen 6 offsuit, we're happy to bluff this if it folds to us. With the limp, we'll just call behind and hopefully see a flop. As the big stack, we're applying our aggression here, just coming out with the lead because we're going to fold out a lot of hands where they just haven't connected. Obviously we get lucky here and hit the queen, and then we just go for the knockout. Heads up now. We're ahead, so we can be very aggressive here and try and deny them. Deny. We get it in. We are slightly behind, but we hit the flop and we hold. So number 2-1. This is the first table. 6-7 suited. We go for a little min raise. We're a little bit deeper here, like both of us are around the 20 blind mark. So when we're a little bit deeper like this, we'll be aiming more for min raises and shoves. King 4, min raise. We'd expect him to be re-raising a lot of aces here. We have more aces in our range than he does. We put out the little bluff and we take it down. Seven 3 offsuit, not the best of hands. We get the walk, fantastic. 3-7 with a min raise. We're going to fold to the shove though. Check the 10-6 offsuit. We do flop bottom pair here. Deciding whether or not to lead. We decide to lead. Try and protect that equity so we don't get outdrawn. Jack 2 with the min raise. The flop's quite low. This connects a bit more with him than us because some of the lower stuff we're folding out, whereas he wasn't. Deuce 4, we up for a call. Flop a set. Can't complain about that. We decide just to call here. Unfortunately, checks a turn back. So at this point, we're just going to shove all in. We're going to hope that sees that as a bit weak because we will be polarized when we shove. Going to fold the 4-8. King 7. Now we're down to less than 10 blinds each. We are just going to shove over this. We flop a 2 pair. And onto the final table. Start with Jack 10 offsuit. This is strong enough to shove. We want to be picking up those blinds, which is what we do. Queen 10. We opt for a little raise here. We are technically ahead as we picked up the first pot. This does give us a little bit of fold equity. We're not going to be behind as such when we fold here. We're still going to be ahead of 2 players. King 8, we're blocking the king, so we're happy to shove over the top here. We do occasionally run into aces, but that's okay. Speaking of aces, obviously we're getting this in no matter what here. Luckily we got 2 players shoving into us. And a 4-way all in with aces, kind of the dream situation. If we lose on the river, down to 6 blinds versus 30 blinds. Get a bit unlucky there. Queen 4, we get a walk. Ace 7, this is going in. We're hoping for a call with a weaker hand. That's what we get, but as a big stack, he can call with weaker hands. We get the double up. Four, 3 off. We're gonna fold against the shove here. We're trying to find some double ups as soon as we can. We don't have that much time to fold a lot of weaker hands. Go for the min raise and get the fold. It's a good outcome for Queen 8 offsuit. 6-8, we're folding to a shove. King 8 offsuit, we're going to shove here. We get the fold, which is good. 3 fail off will be a fold to a shove. Luckily we get the walk. Queen Jack, it's going to have to be a shove. It's not the shove we like the most because we do get called by a lot of kings and aces. Queen 7 is going to go for a raise. We're hoping for a fold down, which is what we get. Deuce 8, easy fold, but we get a walk. 9-5 off. We got for a min raise. We have noticed that this guy is folding a little bit too much and not opening quite enough, which is good for us because you can see that we're picking up more and more blinds. And now we're basically at the point where we're even. Pocket 9's easy shove. We do get called by Queen King. Go for a flip. We flop a set and we hold. Job's a good one.